on the question of who is to blame. I nominate Catholicism, that lonely, lecherous moralist who chaperoned every trip to the wedding bed. It was you all the time, Catholicism, who told my grandparents, be fruitful and multiply, times 2, times 3, times 4, to unravel the rope to tie the severed pieces of twine together in knots, extending it further, stretching it tauter until there were just 2 interwoven threads fraying against one another, hanging below them a chorus of gaping mouths, a gallery of growing bodies. When the doctor, a modern-day oracle, told my grandmother that the 9th baby would kill her, it was you, Catholicism, who had so much respect for the faiths, you, secret worshiper of multiple gods. It was you who made the condom shameful, the pill a poison. It was you who made my grandfather beg his wife to let him continue to bury himself in her tangles. When she refused him, when his daughter heard him crying night after night, you were still in bed with the husband who slept with a pillow between him and his wife. Did my grandmother sleep through those nights? No one remembers which of them it was who decided that Grandpa should sleep in a twin bed in the garage for the rest of this afterlife. I think it was Catholicism who hid away the alternatives, stuffing them into its mouth like hard candies so that all my grandparents could see was a pile of empty wrappers previously filled with unspeakable sins. At least they could give up speaking to one another directly. The Lord Catholicism had blessed them with so many willing go-betweens, a house full of messengers without wings. A small madness. A small madness grows massive, monstrous when fed by love, becomes aware of itself, aware of its preferences, peculiarities, married for a year. Then there was a desert, a breakdown of a car, a mind, a narrative. My mother fed my father's madness until it became its own institution, capable of passing bylaws, holding meetings. My mother fed my father's madness until it rumbled through the city like a public bus, the wrong bus carrying her in a great arc away from her destination and then back to her point of origin. My father tried to end himself so many times he was unsuccessful. He placed his hand around my mother's neck, tried to squeeze the air out of her. He was unsuccessful. I carry his name. Hyslop, it's a name that remembers. My mother doesn't carry it. I carry the madness it takes to tell. Salsa is a form of meditation. She tells me that for her, salsa is a form of meditation, and I believe her. On the floor, amid the crush of gyrating bodies, the crowds part for her, cactus green skirt swirling over exposed calves. I have been taking salsa lessons, admiring the arithmetic of muscle memory, keeping count, submitting to patterns, encouraging my body to give the music the benefit of the doubt. Doubt. Her feet do not count, and when she is dancing, the music is no longer piping from stereo speakers mounted from the ceiling. The music sweats from her body, the twist in her hips, the sex in her smile. Watching her dance is like making love in the dark with eyes open. Your lover floats above you, a scorching shadow. You'll never see her touch the ground. She tells me that salsa brings her back into her body. Her mind wants to pretend it can distance itself from the assailable flesh. And then the music begins, her partner asks, she consents, and he leads her to the floor. She knows the steps from here. When she dances salsa, her mind recollects what it is to be whole, the feeling of being one woman in one body before splintering into several women, each with eyes that map the landscape, women who can find the exits even in the darkness. She recalls the rhythm of when all her moves felt intuitive before she was suddenly forced to inherit a derelict ceramic shop, all broken and scattered, but there was no choice but to salvage the pieces and display the mosaics in the window. When she dances, her body tells the lie that all women's bodies tell, the lie of never having been bruised, forced, held down, the lie of being fresh and new, or at least renewable. Women's bodies heal themselves and create a more complex passion, a so much more compelling strength, but still, women's minds resent the careless body's resilience. When she dances salsa, her mind forgives, because her body's lie is beautiful. Thanks.